Welcome to the podcast. If you'd like to listen to an ad-free version of this episode and all of our episodes, then search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts and press subscribe. That's our premium channel where all of our ad-free and advanced episodes live, all in one place. True Crime Today Premium Plus. Search it on Apple Podcasts and press subscribe. Even try it for 3 days free.
They thought they'd get away with it until now. This is Hidden Killers with Tony Bruschi, featuring retired FBI Special Agent Jennifer Coffindaffer.
Richard Allen, the man that's been now convicted of killing those two little girls in Delphi, Indiana, has been sentenced to 40 to 120 years, essentially a life sentence in a case that was riddled with issues and lots of questions about the legitimacy of the evidence that was brought forward by the prosecution. Joining me to discuss, someone who's been covering this case from the very beginning. You've seen her on TV and followed her on Twitter, and one of the most opinionated about it, Jennifer Coffindaffer, retired FBI special agent. And I say that with love. I really do. So here we go. We got the sentence. I know we all kind of saw it coming, especially you. What's your reaction here on this, and where do you think this goes in 2025?
Yes, well, as I said a week or so ago, let me just break the suspense that's what he was going to get. I mean, essentially a life sentence, and this was a horrible, horrible murder of these two girls. Certainly, he's been convicted of it, and I have to respect the finding of the jury. This is one that will just never quite sit right with me. There were so many issues. But it's, they've asked for an appellate attorney to be appointed. It's not going to be a paid attorney or a retained attorney. But some of the best appellate attorneys are appointed. So hopefully he gets a good one.
Obviously, there's so many issues here in this case that we looked at in terms of the evidence he was convicted on. And yes, I get respect the process, but we all know this one had so many issues with it. It's hard to respect the process when people are abusing the process on the other side.
I think I listed them all out one time. It's just mind-boggling. I mean, from all the recordings of people being erased, their interview recordings in this case, which is just head shaking in and of itself, to the debacle at the crime scene, to crime scene evidence, DNA type evidence not being analyzed, to the ballistics piece that, for me just wasn't strong enough. It's not that this analyst isn't amazing, because I think she is, and she knew what she was doing, and it's just not fingerprint evidence. It's not DNA evidence, and it was an ejected cartridge. It was not a fired cartridge, which is much more difficult to make the match. To the issues just with Richard Allen himself, in terms of having no criminal history, having absolutely no pornography, no child, bondage, nothing on any of his devices. They had many of his devices. They said they didn't have the one from 2016. But as I said, this is easily traceable. Did he turn it in? Where was it? There are so many problems. We could sit here and talk about it for an hour. So I don't want to do that. I have to respect the jury. Yeah,
I mean, it's just lack of evidence, the confessions under duress, inconsistent witness statements, alternative suspects, weak physical evidence, questionable investigation tactics, potential evidence tampering, poorly defined motive, flawed prosecution theory, lack of transparency, timeline problems, and questionable witness tampering. We don't have to talk about them, though. We've talked about them all year.
We've talked about them all year, Tony. I'm glad you took copious notes, because those are the same notes I have.
Yeah, it's there. There's so much. So we go into 25, and yes, there's going to be an appeal. Where do you think that's going to go? Where does your gut tell you? And you're good on timeline. I think you've been one of the most accurate on predicting where things go. What do you see here for 2025 and beyond? And what do you think is going to happen with those appeals?
I think this will be a very, very long appeal process. I think there are several appealable issues. One's already been appealed when Judge Gold removed his counsel, and they were summarily reinstated by the Supreme Court of Indiana.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, that was a big one. And so I think there's going to be some Sixth Amendment issues with everything that happened in terms of that. Mm-hmm. I think that, I wish somebody like Miss Zellner, Kathleen Zellner, who's an amazing an attorney who really looks to seek and find facts. I wish somebody like that would take this on, or maybe even the True Innocence Project, not the LA Innocence Project that took on Scott Peterson, the real deal. Yeah. And I know agents that work for them that are amazing. I wish somebody would really take a hard look at this. It'll never sit right with me unless there's more evidence found.
Welcome to the podcast. If you'd like to listen to an ad-free version of this episode and all of our episodes, then search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts and press subscribe. That's our premium channel where all of our ad-free and advanced episodes live, all in one place. True Crime Today Premium Plus. Search it on Apple Podcasts and press subscribe. Even try it for 3 days free.
All right, true crime addicts, let's cut the crap. You're knee-deep in the gory details of your favorite podcast when suddenly a commercial hits like a bad meal. Seriously? You deserve better. Upgrade to True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts, where you can binge without those annoying ads. Plus, get extended interviews that go deeper into the darkness and early access to episodes so you can be the first to know. It's like trading up from fast food to fine dining, but with more blood. So, go ahead. Search for True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe and feast on the good stuff.